Alright, welcome to the kingdom, everybody. It's good to have you here. This is episode 4 of Castle Crushers, and today we are going to be exploring the depths that Sulzar, the Fire Ranger, can actually do with attacking both lands and garrisons. To give you a little bit of a reminder of the rules associated with this, is at the end we're going to be giving a score associated with each Titan due to the speed at which they raid, the damage taken to their troops, and also how frequently the victory is actually gained. So with that said, give me a moment. I'm going to bring up my Sulzar, take him off the land he's defending, so we can look at his stats and what relics I will be using with him. Now, we're going to be doing 3 land battles and 3 garrison battles. That's how we're going to judge this, and we're going to look at different types of defenses to see exactly what he's able to do. I also wanted to test this stream because I was having issues a few days ago when I went live of Omelette giving me some difficulties, and so that's the secondary purpose of this stream, since I will be part of the 24-hour live stream for the Odin event, which we will be covering. Give me a moment, I'm just gonna quickly replace my Sulzar so I can go ahead and use him a little bit. Oh, okay. This is... the moment I take him off, look what happens. Alright, so we're going to have to wait a moment. And while we wait, we'll just review Sulzar himself. Let's get over to him. Alright, so today for Sulzar, I am going to be running a series of relics. Now, I prefer using the Ice Maul, simply because I can diversify my damage, and especially going into garrisons where I don't know what resistances are heavily being used. If I can do both fire and ice damage with between my Titan and my troops, it's just going to help me take the garrison down quicker. So I'm running with the Ice Maul. I'm running with a level 10 Avalanche. I am running with the Boots of a Seer, simply because it's going to increase my damage for my troops by 30% and give my Titan an additional 30% armor so he can tank some of those long-range shots. I've got my nice little Heart Seeker, which will give me additional Titan damage and armor piercing. And then everyone's favorite Flame Volleys, to make sure that my Grenadiers can still do some decent damage. All of these relics have been maxed out, and as for the skills that Sulzar has, not the most amazing, but they're good enough for me. I'm rocking 2 criticals, and a Grenadier damage against Titans for those Paladins that I'll be coming across. And I like the Fahrenheit aura, which is going to give my Grenadier some protection against other Grenadiers, as well as the Fireball and Meteor Storm spells. And then I've got the Resist Against Earth, and, you know, to be honest with you, if Goliaths reach my Grenadiers, I've lost anyway. So, there's not much use to going to be for that spell. So, traditional Sulzar, but I think he's going to be good enough to get the job done. Now, as for stats, he's only going to have simple 80% armor piercing, 25% critical, and rocking 32,000 ice damage, and 40% lightning resist. Alright, now for the troops, let's see if... Alright, here we go. We'll go ahead and change him, and we'll review the troops before we attack. Okay. Now, I don't like to basically waste too much time, and so I'm just going to go straight over to the most difficult guys on this server, which is Public Enemy. These guys are going to have the best defended lands, and while Sulzar is going to be great to attack anyone my level, this purpose of these videos is to find titans that can really reach beyond. Go beyond who you can normally attack and bring down the bigger foes. So, we were going to start off with going against some higher level troops. Let me find some decent ones here. Alright, so here we have Sulzar, I believe, and his Goliath and Grenadier buffing self. We're going to start with him, because he's relatively high level, and this is a 1,000,026 defense on a land that's level 20. Overall, this is roughly about my level in regards to Sulzar, and so we're going to just start with something fairly easy. Now, the troops I'm going to be bringing in are going to be mostly Grenadiers, but I also plan on bringing in 2 Spearmen. And they're just going to be meat shields. Yes, they're level 16, but they're just there to sort of absorb whatever damage that can be put out. And due to the nature of what I'm facing here, I want to make sure I have a Rage, maybe a few Terrors, and then a few Fireballs. Throw my reinforcements in, and we're going to have a quick look at the Grenadiers. My Grenadiers have 48% armor piercing and 111% critical chance. They're going to do roughly about 8,000 fire damage. So not a lot of damage from the Grenadiers, but we'll see exactly what these guys can do. So move it in here. We're going to go ahead and start the battle. Now, when attacking with Rangers, it's important to understand that you've got to keep them away from harms, or, keep them away from getting harmed. And so, against groups like this, I'm really going to want my Ranger in the back. I'm going to want him to fire a shot off at the Goliaths before the Berserker can actually engage me. Now, this aside, I'm going to set up a few Grenadiers here on the side so I can begin taking out these Grenadiers over to the left. Alright, we're going to be doing that. I want a few shots to go off here, and I just want my Spearmen to remain still. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and find out exactly how well we do. Alright. Here we go. Right now, it looks as though my Sulzar is the one that is really bringing down these troops. Oh, there we go. Let me see if I can't get my Sulzar out of this freeze spell. And see what we can do about getting these Goliaths out of the way. Now, I could be using spells right now, but I am trying to do this as true to, the goal of this as possible. And that was just to see how much damage can be dealt without using too much. Alright, so we lost quite a few troops. And it was mainly because of the Grenadiers' fire. and the troops that were spells that were used. So we lost 6 troops and then 2 spearmen, which are just throwaway troops. So not looking too good initially, but that was just against other range. And ranged against range, there's always going to be troops that are going to be lost. Alright, so now we're going to upgrade a little bit. We're going to go up against another ranged troop, but it's going to be Siggy. And Siggy is well renowned right now for how incredibly strong he is, just for the damage output that's able to happen. I tend to think Sulzar is a decent counter to him, but we're going to find out. Now, level 19 troops, I've only got level 20 troops, so this is roughly an even match, except for his archers are going to do a ton more damage than my guys, because of the X skills. Alright. Now, I don't really think I'm going to need any rage spells, but this time around I am going to concentrate on some fireball spells. Alright. So here we go with this. Whew. Alright. Now, by doing those auto attack and putting those guys on stand your ground, what I'm actually expecting to happen here is my grenadiers are going to take out the panthers while my Sulzar will begin working on the other grenadiers to save myself some damage in gunnery type. At least that's the idea behind it. With the archers coming in, it is important that I don't let them get close until I can engage them on my terms. And so now with those other guys gone, I'm going to rely on my grenadiers to really do the bulk of the damage to these archers. And I think I just lost my Sulzar. If those archers ever fire, my Sulzar will go down in one shot. So I really want my Sulzar to just thin the ranks as the archers are coming in. Oh, I just lost them. Oh, not quite. Oh, there we go. So now it's all up to my grenadiers to really bring it home for me. Throw in another fireball spell here. And as I thought, Sulzar is pretty dang decent against Siggies that are running in the archers. And that's just because you can outrange them. And with the use of spells, I was able to really save quite a few of my troops. Once again, the spearmen are just the toss away, and they can be replaced by any other troop. I just use spearmen because they have a large hitbox and they can take a beating. So we've done 2 lands so far. Now we're going to want to do a land that isn't running ranged troops. We want it to be hopefully a panther defense. Alright. Now this one actually scares me a bit, but we're going to do it anyway. Because we've got a bunch of panthers that are ready to run me over, and these guys are honestly several levels above me. So this is going to be one of the harder battles that I face, but we're going to see exactly how well my troops are able to do. So this time around, I want to do 2 militia and a panther. I'm going to try to do a little bit of kiting. Now, fireballs aren't really going to be of much use to me in this one. But I'm going to go ahead and bring 2 free spells and another terror spell. My free spells are going to be used to take down the other enemy ranger, while my terror spells The orange shard beside the gems. Oh, right up here. This is basically the divine gems that came from the Throne War event. Throne War event lets you get access to unique relics here. And while I have 750 at the moment, and I could pull for a 5-star relic, I'm actually saving them for the next Throne Wars event so I can get more 5-star relics. Good question, Broccoli. Alright. So, we've got this set up. I think we're ready to go. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out, but we'll see. Normally, when I used to run Sulzar in the past, I would just have one unit kite around while he just fired arrows. But we are testing the range of what he can do, and these guys are 5 levels above me, so we're going to see exactly how much Sulzar can accomplish here. Alright, it looks as though I may have gotten lucky here with the setup. Now, what I mean by that is I'm going to be able to control the how the troops actually come in to attack me. And what I really want is to make sure that I can corral all of those panthers in together. Hey Josh, good to see you. I'm happy that my screen's not going down today. Yet a few days ago I just kept getting a lot of error messages. So here we go. Uh-oh. That is not good. That Ranger Titan attacked a lot sooner than I thought he would. So I am absolutely getting destroyed here. I thought my Sulzar would be able to one-shot the Panthers over here, but apparently they got ice resist. And because of that, I am just getting... I mean, there's no point in using any additional spells, because as you can see, these Grenadiers just are not taking down the Panthers as quickly as they need to. So what that lets me know is that to really make Sulzar work against units that are higher than you and faster than you, you've got to have your guys grouped together, and you've got to make the most out of your spells. There, I thought I could take out both of the Titan and the troop before they could reach my Sulzar, but that ended up failing pretty miserably. Alright. But that's what happens during this series. I will lose a lot. Now, we've done our 3 lands, and so now we're going to go to garrisons, which are frankly going to be much more difficult. And we're going to go against event enemy here, because they're going to have a wider range of garrisons I can attack. Now, I don't have the same details that I was able to get in the other series. The only thing I'm able to see from here is that there is a Ranger Titan defending this land, and the troops are all level 17, it looks like. That makes me wonder if this is going to be a good one to attack. We'll give it a shot. I think this may be on the easier side because the troops are so much lower level, but the Ranger Titan looks like he's at least level 60 because he's rocking 6 relics. Now before... Oh, I'm ready for Odin, Josh. Tomorrow, I'm going to be riding that out hard, and tomorrow night I'll be part of the 24-hour stream after the event goes live. I'll be running at, I believe it's 9:30 to 11:30 Pacific. And I may end up taking an hour from Jaeger as well, because he's got like a 5-hour marathon that I'm sure he doesn't want to do. So, alright. Now, going into this completely blind, against Rangers, it's always good to have your free spells, because you want your Ranger to basically one-shot the other Ranger. to give you an advantage. So I'm going to run fear spells because if I'm going against Panthers or I'm going against Pikemen, there's going to be issues. Now, if I happen to be going against another Sulzar, I'm going to rely on the fire resist that I currently have on my guys to really get me through it. Alright. But then, since I think I only need one free spell, I'm also going to run a fireball spell. One of the great things about the fireball spell when you're running ranged troops is not only can you kill other ranged troops, but you can really destroy some of the trees that are around, and you can concentrate your fire on certain areas. So I'm going to hedge my bets and throw that out there. And then we are going to see exactly what this ranger has to offer. What am I going against here? Oh, no foliage. Alright, it looks as though we're going against the Toland. Of all things, we're going against another archer guy. Alright, now to maximize my damage output against a Toland or anyone that is going to have ranged troops on a garrison, it is best to group your guys together. And yes, you're more vulnerable to spells, but what you're trying to get from this is all of their fast troops and all of their melee troops. You want to basically crush them before the ranged troops even become an option for them. So I'm going to put all my guys together. Now, normally, I used to basically group all of my guys together and drag them to where, you know, they're all gathering at a certain point. But if I were to do that, then I just become, Grenadiers are just going to be mowed down by anything that are like poison spells, fireball spells, and so I keep them spread out some, because I know I'm going to lose some of the spells, but at the same time, I need to make sure that my fire is focused in on the right areas. And so with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start this. Sulzar was my first ranger I leveled, and I had a lot of fun with it. Now I'm going to aim for the one behind, because all of my grenadiers are going to aim for the front guy. Alright. Now that the Panthers are gone, start using these fear spells to really control how many archers approach me at any one time. Uh-oh. That's not good. See, look at that. Look at that. I need to get my Sulzar back right now. In other words, that Toland may be all that's needed to crush me. Alright, looks like that Toland's not even moving. I got an easy setup here. I'm just going to clean out... Oh, never mind. My Panther's going to aggro him. So now I'm actually going to have to use my free spell. Wait till he starts his attack animation, freeze him, and bam, gone. I'm going to lose my Sulzar, I think, to that archer attack. Or maybe not. So even with my range advantage here, because of the speed of the Grenadiers, I mean, I just got wasted here. I still don't have the Vixia, Josh, so I'm actually jealous of that. I lost everything but one Grenadier unit. And so, while it was a success, I took heavy casualties, and it should be understood that what you're really looking for is speed and low casualties when you're raiding. So things aren't looking good for Sulzar in that category, but he's still getting a decent amount of victories. So let's come over here. Here we have a paladin that's defending. And this paladin is going to be with a bunch of troops that are higher level, or higher level than my troops. If I'm going to be going in... okay, well, I'll show you my relics again that I'm using on Sulzar. I decided to change up my damage, and that's simply because, for example, when I'm going against paladins, if I'm running all fire and they're 90% resist to fire, there's an issue. And so I'm using the ice maul with them. So I'm doing ice damage with him and then fire damage with my other guys. So you'll see ice maul, avalanche, and then I have this as another way to boost my damage for my troops, as well as give armor to my Titan to resist some of those ranged attacks that are going to hit him. And then I've got my Heartseeker here, giving my Titan more damage and armor piercing. Okay. So depending on how many Grenadiers I have left, this may be the last castle I can attack, because I have been getting destroyed in that category. So I'm going to go in the battle against this level 60 Titan, which I don't know too much about. And because it is a paladin, what I need to make sure that I'm running is rage spells. It was the lightning resist boots that also gave armor to the Titan and damage to the troops. I'm using the armor to the Titan to resist ranged attacks and the damage for the troops to make sure that my Grenadiers are still doing decent damage. Alright. Okay, looks like I haven't run out of Grenadiers yet, but in this particular fight, I need to make sure that I'm going to run 2 Panthers, because I'm going to need to be kiting that Paladin, and we're going to see if I can kite him very well. If that kiting doesn't work, I'm going to have one Goliath that may be able to take 1 or 2 hits from him. But I'm still going to want the fear spells to really chase away unwanted attention. Now, I don't know if he's going to have ranged troops with me. If he has ranged troops with him, I'm going to be hurting pretty heavily. So I'm going to hope for the best here as I go into battle against this guy. Now, when you're going against paladins, it is good to understand that this number of defense means less for these guys than it does for any other troops. I don't really pay attention to the numbers, because that just tells me the attack power. This guy right here, I expect it just to take little to no damage, period. I'm hedging my bets by having 2 different damage types I'm bringing in that are heavy, so we'll see how well I do. Okay, so I got lucky enough to where we are going to be dealing with heavy amounts of spearmen. So what I'm really looking for out of this is making sure that I get the most damage out of my units possible. So we're going to have them back up all the way here. And I'm going to somewhat go against my advice from last time around, just because I need my fear spells to last longer And so we are going to group all of my guys over there. We want to keep my Panthers out of the way. We don't want them attacking, because their whole purpose in this is to kite the enemy Paladin. We're going to have my Goliath up front. Alright. So here we go. Kidding me right now. Alright, we're gonna get rid of these guys. My fear spells did not do what I thought they would do. Alright. So far, it looks as though I had a good roll of the dice, in the sense that ice damage he was not completely resistant to, although my Grenadiers were doing very little fire damage to him. So this is a great reason to hedge your bets when you're able to. That Paladin just got destroyed because he wasn't fully resistant to 2 types of damage. And minimal losses there. So from what I'm seeing so far, when I'm able to go against pikemen in particular, with the right fear spells, and those that are just heavy on defense, it's good. First, it's good to have you back in here. But whenever I'm going against Panthers in particular, the current meta, my Grenadiers, even when Panthers aren't fully resist to everything, just get run over. And so that's good to understand. Now, our last little attack that we're going to look for, we want to look for a different type of unit. We've done Rangers, we've done Siggy, we've done Paladins, and so I want to concentrate on something like Berserkers or... Josh, are you in non-toxic, or are you in Rogue Squad? Well then, by all means, thanks for the invitation. I will head right over there. Now, it does seem that the lag time on this particular stream seems to be very low. So you guys seem to be getting my messages pretty quick. That is a relief. I've been trying to work on that. Alright. So I need to go to Rogue Squad. Let's find King Josh in here. There we go. He's right in the center. Alright. So, normally I wouldn't know he had a Mamesh, but let's be honest. When there's a Berserker in there, 99% of the time it's going to be Mamesh. And so, if I were to come across this garrison beforehand, at this time in the game, I would expect a Mamesh to be in here. If it's not a Mamesh, then it's going to be something that I'm going to roll over like a Krothos. Alright, so we got a 1.6 million. And the great thing is, the level is basically equivalent. Now, I don't want to know what your defense range is. So Mamesh is normally going to be Panthers and Grenadiers. And so I need to make sure I'm prepared to go against Panthers and Grenadiers. So my spells are not going to be surrounding necessarily the rages, but I want to make sure that I'm able to handle what's there. Now, it is important that when you're going up against any type of berserker, that you scan the relics over here. If Josh was running a 5-star relic, then I would know that I would need to bring some melee troops to handle his Titan, because that 5-star relic for berserkers would completely nullify any of my attacks. He could tank all my damage from both my Sulzar and my Grenadiers, and I wouldn't be able to do anything about it. So since he's not running it, I also noticed that his Titan is probably, or is definitely not level 60. It looks like he is level 51, because I see the level 1 skill. And so I've got a level 51 berserker that I'm going against. And that's what I'm able to tell before I even attack. Now, if I wanted to hedge my bets further with my Titan, I may take off my boots and go with a fire resist relic. For example, I don't think I'm going to be doing much damage with my Grenadiers. And so, if I really wanted to take this to the next level, I may go with a fire ruby. And if not a fire ruby, a fire cloak. For now, I'm going to go with a fire ruby because I'm going to get more armor for my Grenadiers in case he has Grenadiers. And I'm going to get fire resist and Titan armor for my Titan. And I'm not losing any damage off my Titan. And my Titan is going to be, let's face it, the main source of damage I'm going to need in this battle. Alright. So, with that said, if he's going to be the main source of damage I'm going to need, I can go ahead and take off another fire spell and throw in another fear spell, because I need to protect my Titan at all costs. I also am going to need troops that are not slow as dirt and may be able to absorb a little damage. And so Panthers are not really what... I mean, if I had Spearmen, I would go with Spearmen, but I'm going to go with some Imperials here. So this is what I'm going against Josh with, and we're going to see exactly what I'm able to do. Now, my big fear is that those Panthers are going to be armor heavy and health heavy. If that's the case, then I probably do want at least one rage spell. Probably should get 2, but I'll go with 1 this time around. Now, with that said, I'm going to throw in a few more militia here. And we're going to see exactly what we can do against Josh. Oh, man. Sometimes you hedge your bets against something and they have something completely different. While he does have those, I am so happy I put that fire ruby, because that may be the only chance I have at all of bringing this guy down. And so what I want to do here is I need to delay those Grenadiers from getting to me as much as possible. I'm not going to have time to group all of my troops together. But those melee troops have to go down before his Grenadiers start to engage. Now what I'm going to do here is, I know the paths that these Panthers will go down. So I need to make sure that my Spearmen are ready to intercept. So I'm going to put them on the corners over here. All the while keeping my Titan front and center, because strangely enough, front and center is the best place to have him at the moment. Because the Panthers are going to come around the side and he's got fire resist. I just hope he has enough. So here we go. Thanks for the luck, Josh. Start fearing these guys away. Oh no. Woo! Alright guys, it is not looking good. As I said before, anytime where it takes your ranger more than one shot to bring down panthers, it is definitely not going to be your day. And that's why the meshes are actually so good against rangers. I like Josh's defense here because he has a good variety that you can really test. And since his panthers can take some damage, it gives times for those grenadiers to come up and attack. And while I may not be the best person to represent the rangers, this is just supposed to explore not only the strengths of the Titans, but also the weaknesses and strengths and defenses that I'm fighting. This is great research for when I develop my own defenses. Okay, so what have we learned so far? When it comes to speed, I give Sulzar, we're going to give 1 out of 10. Speed for raids, it wasn't necessarily impressive. Good to have you here, Frank. So I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Because while it's not the slowest, running a Guardian attack, yeah, I'll send a pic of the relics and band. Next time I run Sulzar, I would probably run all fire relics when going against anything but paladins and guardians. And against those two, having this setup I think is preferable. All fire relics, I could have gotten a lot more damage for my grenadier units as well as my Titan itself, because I wouldn't have to split back and forth between the two. Alright, now Sulzar, 6 out of 10 for speed. For the next category of damage taken, I'm going to go ahead and give him a solid 4. 4.5, I'll say, because I lost a lot of units. Against ranged troops, my units were just getting destroyed, and while I was able to win, it's not necessarily the most efficient thing. Now, for victories, I'll give Sulzar a solid 7, because he can bring down just about any garrison. With the right training and the right setup for troops, he's going to be efficient at bringing down quite a few. But not everything. Anything Panther related right now is still going to crush him. So he's not good for the current meta. But in the long term, as the meta shifts to other troop types, those grenadiers are going to become more powerful. So speed 6, damage 4.5, and victory 7. To give you a little baseline, my champions I've run in the past, Venom Tusk, had similar scores to Sulzar except for the victory area. Champions just can't cut it against garrisons. So he ended up getting like a 3 or 4 in the garrison department with similar scores across the board elsewhere. So that hopefully that gives you guys some relative insight on the champion. The next part of this series I'm going to do as I get my troops higher, but the next one I'm going to do is actually going to be pretty funny to watch. We're actually going to go over Skolnar and his Goliaths and how well they do in attacking. That'll be one that you don't want to miss. Now, I will have to level up a few attack relics for the Goliaths, so it's not incredibly boring to watch, but my Goliaths are pretty dang tough, and give you a little bit of a sneak peek about it, because he's defending my garrison right now. Alright, so my Goliaths right now, with how I have them set up, they're rocking 150% armor, nearly 120,000 health apiece. They have 100% resistance to physical, 90% resistance to ice, 84% resistance to fire, 24 to earth, and they get dominated by poison and lightning right now. There's not much I can do about that at the moment. So anyone who's looking at attacking my garrison, the meta is what's killing me right now. I'm fastly training my Metano to actually take over for him. But I really enjoy my Skolnar. He's gotten me in lots of greens, and the higher level my Goliaths go, the more greens that I get. Their damage is not impressive, so that's why I need a damage relic before next time I do this. Anyway, thank you for joining me for this episode of Castle Crushers. I'm going to go ahead and post in band all of the relics that I'm using for Sulzar. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them below. If you like the content that this channel creates, like and subscribe. I'm always looking for more ideas on what to bring up, and I've got a few additional ideas once I'm done with my Castle Crusher series, which is going to be probably something ongoing for several months as I get Titans to the level 60 mark. This aside, thank you so much for joining me in the kingdom today, and I wish you all a good night.